With Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker now out on theaters, there are 11 Star Wars films, so we're going to rank these movies from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name is Justin. I love to watch movies. If you guys love to watch movies too, you guys are in the right spot. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and click that bell notification for more up and coming videos. Today we're going to be ranking all 11 of the Star Wars film, including Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. So before we get into the video, make sure to leave your comment down below. How would you rank all 11 Star Wars films? So coming in at number 11 is Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones is just a really bad film. The CGI and the green screen is just horrible. They do a bad job of developing Anakin as a character, and then he doesn't really fit the character of Darth Vader very well. At times you don't feel that this character in Attack of the Clones will grow up to be Darth Vader. The love between him and Padme just feels really quick at times and is underdeveloped. Some of the lightsaber battles are pretty good, but when it comes down to Attack of the Clones is really dull at times, and I really do not care about the story, and it moves very slowly. Coming at number 10 is Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Star Wars is notorious for offering some really cool villains throughout all the movies, from Snoke, Captain Phasma, now the Knights of Ren, and Darth Maul as well, and not doing much with them. I really would love to see Darth Maul a little more in this movie. But Phantom Menace did a good job of offering, the past moments with Obi-Wan and young Anakin and C-3PO and R2-D2. I like some of those moments exploring the past with some of the popular characters from the original trilogy, but it's bogged down with some ridiculous characters like Jar Jar Binks. And a plot at times doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. It just has a lack of vision and a lack of a good structure to make it an interesting Star Wars film. Coming in at number 9 is Solo, A Star Wars Story. This one's an okay movie. It's got some good visuals. I really do like Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian. He's probably the best part of the movie. The character of Han Solo is really not that interesting to me. I do like Chewie in the film, but it's easily one of the more forgettable Star Wars films. I saw it in theaters, I think twice, and I haven't seen it since. And I had plans on watching it for The Rise of Skywalker, but I could just not bring myself to do it. Coming at number 8 is Rogue One, A Star Wars Film. This took a story that we already knew. We already knew what was going to happen. We know what was going to be the end result of the film. And it offered a really dark looking Star Wars film, something that's kind of vastly different from other Star Wars movies, and offered us some intriguing and fun characters throughout the movie for a movie, like I said, that we knew exactly what was happening and what the end result was going to be. So how are you still going to draw us in and still be interested in this movie? And I think they did just that, offered some really cool visuals with Darth Vader at the end of the movie, and the action scenes are stunning within this movie. But at times it does feel a little bit dull. And it's hard to shake that feeling that you know exactly what's going to happen. So it doesn't really leave you with much surprises within the movie. Coming at number 7 is Star Wars The Last Jedi. I really, really wanted to like The Last Jedi. I really, really did. There are some good moments within this movie. Really, there are. The battle sequence with Kylo Ren and Rey against Snoke's henchmen are really good. It is one of my favorite Star Wars moments. Every time I see that scene where Snoke dies and Rey grabs the lightsaber and they have the good score over it, I get chills. It is easily one of my favorite Star Wars moments. There's multiple things that do bug me about this movie. The humor. It is so out of place within this movie. They had that scene where Luke Skywalker grabbed the lightsaber and just tossed it. I absolutely hated that scene. The Canto Bite moments, I fast forward over that. I do not want to watch that at all. But unfortunately, there's so many times where scenes just feel out of place and it doesn't feel like a good story. It feels like a waste of a movie at times. If you took out so many different elements of this movie and honestly combined this movie with maybe parts of The Force Awakens, it could have been a whole completely different trilogy. But The Last Jedi had a different vision with Rian Johnson coming in as a director and changing certain things. And I think that this movie just left me unsatisfied and really disappointed. I really wanted to like this movie. There are some good elements within this movie, and I could see what they're getting at, but most of it does not work. Coming at number 6 is The Rise of Skywalker. This is the most recent Star Wars film, and I did feel a little bit disappointed with this movie. At the beginning, it did feel a bit rushed. They were trying to get to the next scene very quickly without developing the previous scene. I feel like certain scenes should have been in different parts of the movie and kind of shift things around, and it would have been a little more impactful. But with it being so rushed and J.J. Abrams coming in and trying to rewrite what Rian Johnson did for The Last Jedi, certain key moments don't feel emotional. This movie does not have that moment like that Last Jedi where Rey grabbed the lightsaber after it killed Snoke, and I just had the chills running through my body. This movie did not have that moment, and I could tell that there were moments that it wanted to be very cinematic, and I just did not get that feeling because of how rushed it felt from the beginning of the movie. I did like the story. There was a lot of fan service within this movie. There's a lot with Emperor Palpatine, which I did appreciate, and I didn't mind the route they took some of these characters, but it just felt rushed at times, and you're left wanting more from these characters at that last shot. Coming at number 5 is Revenge of the Sith. Growing up, Revenge of the Sith was my favorite Star Wars film. I absolutely loved it. I loved the battle sequence at the end between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. It is highly emotional. One of my favorite Star Wars moments of all movies. Seeing them fight against each other is something you don't want to see happen, but it did, and it moved the story further. And try to wrap up the storyline really quick and move it into the trilogy really fast. And the development between Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader felt really fast as well. They could have developed that a little quicker and got rid of certain moments like General Grievous within the movie and focus a little more on Anakin, and I swear it could have been a better story for us to watch. But I still like this movie a lot. It's one of my favorite Star Wars movies. It's the best of the prequel trilogy. It offers some emotional moments, and Hayden Christensen, despite all of his whining and screaming, I really do enjoy him as Anakin Skywalker. Coming in at number 4 is The Force Awakens. This is the best one out of the new sequel trilogy. It offered some really cool characters: Kylo Ren, Rey, BB-8, Finn, Poe. I really like this batch of new characters, and they did a good job within The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker as well. This is a huge setup movie, trying to move the story further, set up all the characters, the relationships, bring Han Solo back. It does feel a lot like A New Hope, which I don't mind. I like that storyline, and I like the characters in here, so it makes it fun to watch. Adam Driver as Kylo Ren is really good. Daisy Ridley I like as Rey. It has some good visuals. It looks like a Star Wars movie from the original trilogy compared to what the prequel trilogy looked like. All the moments against the First Order and the Resistance is great. It definitely feels cinematic at times. But after watching Rise of Skywalker and thinking of each single movie, you feel like there's a lot of times where each movie just felt wasted, and they could have, structured the movie just a little bit differently, and you would have just a better coherent trilogy. But I do like The Force Awakens. It is a fun film, and I like seeing some of the characters return from the original trilogy and seeing a new storyline set 30 years after the events of Return of the Jedi. We got 3 spots left. All we have is the original trilogy now. Coming at number 3 is The Empire Strikes Back. I absolutely love The Empire Strikes Back. It's got a good reveal. One of the best movie reveals of all time, with Darth Vader being Luke's father. We all know that. But this movie did a good job of developing the characters a lot more, separating them, strengthening them on their own. We have Luke training with Yoda. We have Han Solo doing his own thing. There's a lot of times where these characters are doing their own thing, but they're still really strong characters that you love watching. The Empire Strikes Back is a much darker film compared to A New Hope, and it's got such a good title for the movie, Empire Strikes Back. It just flows really well. I like a lot of development for the Empire. You definitely felt like they were a large threat It's one of the best things that this original trilogy did, is having that empire so strong within the movie, with Emperor Palpatine in the movie, as well as Darth Vader. You definitely felt that threat from them too in the galaxy. And Luke Skywalker needs to train really hard to defeat Darth Vader and save the galaxy. Empire Strikes Back is such a good film. I love all three of the original trilogy movies. Each one is just so good in their own way. But Empire Strikes Back sits at number 3. Coming at number 2 is Return of the Jedi. I love how this movie ended. I love the redemption for Darth Vader, how he saved his son and sacrificed himself against the Emperor. I love how the movie ended. I love how they redeemed the character and ended his storyline. And it's such a sweet moment. I don't mind the Ewoks. I think they're interesting, cute characters. I know a lot of people hate them, but I like them. I like the training for Luke Skywalker. I like Jabba the Hutt. New characters look great. Certain characters are growing stronger as the movie progresses. As you're watching the movie maybe the first time, you're wondering, is Luke Skywalker actually going to turn to the dark side? Because he seems very angry as he's fighting Darth Vader. So the movie does keep you interested in that storyline with Darth Vader and Luke, since it is father and son. Is he going to follow his father's path, or is he going to create his own one? I like that story within the movie, and the Return of the Jedi just has a lot of cinematic moments, a lot of fastly paced action scenes, and it's one of my favorite watches of these movies. But coming at number 1 is A New Hope. I love the setup for the characters. I love how they had to get to know each other. You definitely feel that threat from Darth Vader within this movie. And all of the action scenes just flow very well. I really do like Obi-Wan Kenobi within this movie. Even if it's like half of the movie, you still feel like he is one of the best characters in the original trilogy. Watching Luke's journey as he feels like a nobody, has a lot of questions about his family, which is very similar to Rey. And watching him discover the Force and try to understand it is some of the better parts within this movie. It's filmed beautifully. I like all of the shots within this movie. The imagery looks great. It's got such a great score, and it sets up this trilogy very well with the characters. Makes you fall in love with them right away within this movie. Doesn't waste any time. The storyline is very strong. And as we move forward within the second and third movie of this trilogy, they benefit from how this movie was set up. So there you guys have it, all 11 Star Wars movies ranked worst to best. How would you rank these movies? Let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure that subscribe button down below. Click that bell notification for more up and coming Star Wars videos. I got a lot planned for you guys coming very soon. My name is Just Watch Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.